Good morning. Welcome to Morning Java. Chris, more hockey tonight. I can't believe that, I guess I can believe how the fallout from a loss like that. I mean, it is a 7-game series, but I think the way that they lost and just some of the shortcomings really stung a little bit more for fans, but they are going to get more help for Game 4.
Yeah, obviously they got Evgeny Malkin back in Game 3. He helped obviously on the power play. They did get a goal, the first one in this series, but they will be getting Carl Hagelin back, and I don't think you can underestimate what he brings to this team. He brings a speed element that not many other players possess. He's good on the penalty kill. That's one area the Penguins have not had a lot of success in this season. But just his presence on that second line with Evgeny Malkin, that should help balance out the scoring.
Yeah, because it seemed like that was one of the issues. I mean, secondary scoring's been a problem, but when you're missing guys, you're missing Malkin, you're missing Hagelin, people are playing up on lines they should be playing on. Sullivan's got to be more creative with mixing and matching, and now it brings a little bit more continuity, I guess.
Yeah, this is probably the best version of the Penguins we're going to see, at least since the middle of the Flyer series in the first round. You know, this way they'll have the 4 big centers with Riley Sheahan, Derek Brassard, and obviously Crosby and Malkin. The Penguins have been struggling to get any kind of scoring outside of that top line, so if they can get those guys going, if Hagelin can spark Malkin, they've had some great chemistry together, you know, then we'll see what's going to happen here.
It's always easy to blame the goalie. Everybody wants to blame the goalie, no matter, you know, if a goal's allowed, it has to be the goalie's fault. You know, that's why Marc-Andre Fleury was blamed for all those years. Now it's Matt Murray's turn to get blamed for the shortcomings of the guys in front of him, and there have been some shortcomings of the guys in front of him.
Yeah, there certainly have. Obviously, that's been one of the bigger storylines in this series is the number of odd man breaks that the Penguins defense has given up. That's been a little bit of a problem for them all season, but obviously at this time of year, when you're doing that, and especially you saw at the end of Game 3 where they gave up 3 2-on-1 breaks in the final 7 minutes, I believe, that's just no way to win, and Alex Ovechkin gets the game winner. So that's one area the Penguins need to cut down, and not to let Matt Murray totally off the hook here. He did let up that really bad goal. The Matt Niskanen tying goal is a save he has to make. Hits him in the glove, and obviously there's been a lot of question marks about that over the last 2 years.
You know, it seems like just, you know, following along, I've been so caught up with baseball the last 3 or 4 months that I've been able to watch every Penguins game, just reading your guys' coverage. The mistakes that they made, their biggest weaknesses, just kind of playing lackadaisical defensively, is catching up to them this time of year. I mean, in the regular season, you're able to, okay, you could score 4 or 5 goals a game, but playoff hockey is totally different than the regular season.
Totally different. Obviously, this is the Penguins team that likes to play in the offensive zone, and this is a very good Washington Capitals team. These are 2 pretty evenly matched teams. They're not going to always be able to play in the offensive zone as much as they would like. You know, the Capitals, this is a team that I think this might just be the year that they're
good.
Beat the Penguins.
They're good. And this group of the Penguins just drive Mike Sullivan crazy the way they play hockey.
Well, obviously the Penguins aren't the only team in town right now. The Pirates are playing pretty well and got some pretty good news earlier this week with Jung Ho Kang being reinstated to the team. And I got to ask, Lance, what is kind of the expectation for him? He's been off, obviously, for a long time now.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any expectations. It's been 19 months since he's played in a Major League game. He played in the Dominican Winter League. He was terrible. He got cut from his team after 23 games. So, I mean, he's been reportedly working out in the Dominican Republic, hitting, you know, coach batting practice, you know, in the cage, doing some fielding drills. But he's in Bradenton. He's working out. They're going to kind of see how much work he needs to do. I mean, they can just keep him on the restricted list. The guy's not even getting paid right now. Keep him on the restricted list, see if he can get back to being the same player. Probably start some sort of like a minor league rehab assignment program that they can take almost as long as they want doing that. It's a lottery ticket, you know. They don't really need him. They have Colin Moran. They have David Freese. They went into the offseason thinking they wouldn't have him, so they made a couple of moves. And, again, if it works out, great. You got another player that you might be able to add to the bench. And if not, well, you can kind of just cut bait at the end of the season.
All right, still talking Pirates here with Lance. And looking at some of the stats, kind of interestingly, who is leading the Pirates in RBIs?
Well, it's Francisco Cervelli, which I don't think anybody anticipated. He hasn't hit much at all the last 2 years. Even when he was productive in 2015, wasn't a big offensive threat, but you've seen just a different player. I mean, in spring training, you always hear about guys, how they have new workout regimens. They've been doing all this stuff in the offseason. With him, it was a form of some sort of jiu-jitsu. It was capoeira, so it's like Brazilian martial arts. So I thought that was interesting, but you're always kind of skeptical, like, okay, is this really going to make a difference? But no, he's in really good shape. He sort of tweaked his batting stance, and he's hitting for more power. He's getting the ball in the air more. You keep hearing guys trying to do that. batting 6th in the order, too. He's benefited from Corey Dickerson. Corey Dickerson's hitting in front of him. Corey Dickerson's getting on base more than anybody in that lineup. So, hey, that's kind of been the story of the Pirates. Last year, their offensive threats were at the front of the lineup. They didn't have anybody in the back that can kind of produce. Now they've got Colin Moran batting 7th. Jordy Mercer's hitting fairly well, particularly at home, batting 8th. So there's threats, up and down the order, and it's helped make up for the fact that Gregory Polanco's been absolutely terrible the last 2 or 3 weeks, and Josh Bell hasn't been himself quite yet, although he seems to be heating up a little bit.
Yep.